Projects.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Good. Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome and thank you for joining us, and hopefully you not only had an excellent weekend, but the week ahead promises to be the most productive. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And as we invite you to be a part of our discussions going forward for the week, well, let's start at the beginning. Mr. Peter Riley from Cayman Enterprise today. It's a pleasure. Welcome aboard, man. Thanks for joining us again.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me back.
Yeah, man. At some point, I sort of fast forward, you put this beautiful, brightly colored object on our desk, and for those who are watching by YouTube, we're going to tell them about it, what it is, right? You open it inside and there's candy, and if you want to make sure that's what it is, then stay tuned and we'll see if that's exactly what it is. No, my attempt at a teaser.
No, I understand. No.
So how are you, man?
I'm very well, thank you. Very busy as always. We've got right in the swing of all our summer programs, all our different workshops and networking events and different programs that we try and run to try and innovate the creative sector in Cayman.
With that in mind, I was sort of thinking as I was looking at the calendar of events for our programming this week, and this was on it, and I was thinking, the creative sector, as you put it, there are a lot of creatives in this community, those that can trace their roots back, many generations, some that have only just starting to land on the shore, and you watch them connect and interact. And they span the gamut, from those who use their voice to do impressions. To me, that's a very creative outlet. To those who literally grab pen and paper. For those who use their hands to carve. Those who have a strong mental intellect that is, agile mind and the like. And then there are those who we watch them as parents and adults in the gaming environment and how they can navigate, the different levels and the like. And I was thinking, Mike, that, just like for me in a way, on the football field, the ability of players to read each other and to move and do little things with the ball. Hey.
Yes, no, I didn't have those skills in team sports, but I definitely appreciate those who can read the situation and see those opportunities that others can't, yeah.
I think as we start to not just develop and enhance, but showcase and invite. Hey, listen, let's see what you got, and not be so willing to, condemn an expression of such. I think back to a few Thursdays, where Mr. Leonard Dilbert joins us and shares with his poetry, and through his prose, we get a chance to point at the things in history, and that's a creative outlet, one that is perhaps more established and accepted. But today, the ability to do things, with 3D printing, to be able to collaborate, whether you're in Cayman and the other person is Cameroon, you can sit and you can, in real time, work together on something. So we're in a wonderful space if we can get it right.
Absolutely. Well, I believe everybody's got a creative streak in there somewhere. Everybody's got that idea for something they could design, something they could make. Could it be a bit of art, a painting, a poem, as you said, or going into my background, more to the tech area, it could be a type of drone, perhaps, or it could be a 3D printed object. Like from the workshop I did a few weekends back with some students here in Cayman, and they all were designing their own 3D objects. I gave them free rein to design what they wanted, and then over the following weeks I've been manufacturing those objects for them, and I tried to focus it in a little bit towards a toy design, given the age range, and also given my background previously as a toy designer. And we made a lot of these flying objects, including this one that we've got here in front of us, which is I believe it's a Sonic the Hedgehog themed item, and I gave it a wee test fly, and it can go higher than our building, so
yeah.
So kudos to the student.
Exactly. And this is just something that was done in a short sort of space of time. You imagine continued development, encouragement, and resources, what is possible. And that's the thing I commend you, your extended partnerships with our schools, the invitation to our students to be able to, hey, come, take a look, and try your hands literally.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the reason why I brought this specific model, because this student had never designed anything in a 3D model before in their life. This was their first time exposed to this, and it seems to have unlocked some secret talent that she didn't know she had, and she absolutely knocked it out the park with this design. I was really proud to actually
that's
see
her superpower now. She has a superpower.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, by giving those opportunities, giving those, being willing to try those new experiences, try those different things, put your hand at different technologies and different innovative opportunities that Enterprise Cayman provides. You get this exposure to different things you might not know you knew, and things you might want to do.
There's an adage, necessity is the mother of invention, and I think we can subscribe to that. But I think as I was thinking of that, looking to today, many of us as parents and even as educators, much older heads would say, oh, the generation today, they have it so easy. Boy, if we had that, we would have done this. Well, okay, we didn't. We did well. But let's make sure that they that have that resource value it, have opportunity to experience it, explore what is potentially, and then move forward, man, with a sense of not just creative expression, but a sense of reward.
Yeah, and encouragement. Yeah, it's they've achieved something. So what's next? What else can you put your mind to?
I think that's why as I look at the continued partnerships with the schools, whether it's the tertiary level or whether it's in the primary schools, the students, male and female, there are no barriers. Doesn't matter where you come from, just come as you are.
Well, the good thing about young minds is they don't see those barriers that we sometimes experience as adults. It's for them, it's just all about experience, it's all about learning, it's all about creativity, and it's a great opportunity to actually access those minds at that time and say, hey, you can do what you want to do.
But and I'm saying this speaking to us as adults, whether we're the parents, the coaches, the teachers, we're the adults in the lives of these children. Let's be a little bit more mindful. I say this, I shared it with the person because I think it was just a comment that we were so quick to make without realizing it. After the last time we were on, you gave us a list of things that are coming up. Hey, this is when it is, this is the age range, this is what we're doing. I made copious notes, and I shared it with a couple of people. And to his credit, as he said it, he quickly pulled it back. Thankfully, it was only, a small group in, and he said, if we're not careful, we'll quickly discourage a young mind, even without realizing it. And sometimes we say things, well, it's going to cost. Well, you took care of that. It wasn't, exorbitant. You even had scholarships. Sometimes, it's early on a Saturday morning, or it's a particular evening, and you as the transporter, the parent, you got somebody on and just saying, oh, but that's going to be kind of inconvenient. Just latest little thing could put that mind off to say, well, you know what, I'll do the next time. So when we come back from the break, let's share, with our listeners a few of the things that may be on the cards as we continue.
Absolutely.
All right. If you have a question, you can join us on the discussion. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Subway is giving you flavor around the clock with the new Chicken Squad sandwich options. Try the classic chicken and bacon ranch, the sweet and savory barbecue chicken, or the chicken cordon bleu. 3 new appetizing and delicious sub options that you can also make into a wrap. The Chicken Squad is available at Subway for only a limited time. Subway, giving you something to cluck about.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
You could be the lucky winner in July as part of Kirk Freeport's 50th anniversary sweepstakes. Each month for the whole year, lucky shoppers have a chance to win a jewelry piece or watch from luxury brands. The prize for July is the innovative Tag Heuer Carrera watch that takes you from daytime to a night out with seamless style. Visit any Kirk Freeport store location to enter. Every purchase of $100 gains you entry into the monthly drawing. View terms and conditions on KirkFreeport.com.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks very much for joining us. And as I was speaking to Mr. Peter Riley from CEC, he was talking about the continued partnerships, especially amongst our schools. As scheduled and on time, we got an opportunity to highlight that continued partnership with the UCCI. And I just got to say, not just to resemble it, but you know what? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, and apologies. I am delighted to represent the STEM division on behalf of Ms. Antoinette Gale and Tracy Hargrave, who is the dean. They could not be here unavoidably, but just to share the excitement about the annual summer camp, STEM camp, that goes on at the UCCI, thanks to the kind and generous sponsorship of CEC and their partners. It is not open, it's closed. So let me just put that up front, that the registration, it opened, I think, on one day, and the same day it was closed the same day, because people are excited. They know the value of what they get as far as that part of that program. And that camp will run from August 8th to 12th, from 9 until 4:30 p.m. And those young persons between ages 11 to 13, and I know, Mr. Sterling, you always are excited about things happening for young people and the youth, you know. And this is that age where they are helping them to shape their minds as to what career pathways that they could decide they want to go into in the STEM world. And in that camp, they are going to do some fun activities, including computer coding. So they're going to be introduced to computer coding. So if that's a profession they want to continue into, they're then going to be immersed in that. Lionfish dissecting, you know, LED badge creation, robotic building their own robots, and they get to take home that robot. So it's fun, you know. It is not just a static where they come in. It's really active and interactive, and a whole lot more that they'll be engaged in. And it's unfortunately only 25 persons can be accommodated. So I mean, it speaks volumes for the future that they may, you know, if we have persons who are willing to give up their time to support in the future, maybe we can have other camps, you know, maybe Easter camp, or, you know, but that depends on the support that can be had. And that camp, having completed, the students will get a welcome packages, a part of the kit. They get the activity kits, they get lunch, they get snacks, they get a certificate of participation at the end, and more importantly, the UCCI, when they hold the STEM Carib Conference, which is also heavily supported by CEC in March. So it's now going to be in March 2023. Each student will get a pass to that event. So this is a phenomenal camp that, and parents know and look forward to it. So that's why it closes off so quickly. So we are very thankful, and thanks to CEC who continues to support this. But they're also excited about partnering with UCCI on a broader scale, where they want to do things like UCCI in the community, you know, talk sessions and educational fora that will help to engage the public on the creative sector and on specific topics that will help to engage persons, you know, who want to broaden their horizons. So those are some of the exciting things that we look forward to in the new academic year, and engaging further with CEC. But this is one of our landmark events with them for the summer.
Thanks very much, Dean Paul. I mean, when we hear that, okay, most things, there is a limited capacity. You know, even the best chocolate cake can only be sliced so much for everybody to get a taste, right?
Yes.
You know, if you got one, if you got 100, if you got 1,000, there is a capacity. What I'm hearing as Dean Paul is sharing, one, we see the need for more of us to partner, to lend our time, our talent, our treasure, to volunteer, to assist. But then it's also encouraging that more and more of our students, there's almost like a waiting list.
Yes.
So if we can reach that, we can have it, you know, as an after-school club. We can have it within the schools. We can have it on the weekends. We don't have to wait just for summers, as Dean Paul was sharing.
Well, the incredible success of the UCCI program is, like, it can be measured by just like how popular the STEM summer camp is. I mean, as you said, I mean, it fills up practically within an hour of it being announced.
Yes.
It's like, it's that popular. And like CEC are really proud, you know, to be a part of that, you know, to try and help where we can. We'll try and, you know, give some of our experts who can talk about various different tech fields as well, to maybe give some sort of like future career insight for the students as well. But also, like, we try and do our own workshop series, you know, to try and supplement the UCCI program. I mean, you guys are leading the charge. We're just basically trying to help those students that couldn't maybe get a place, for example. We'll provide the 3D printing, or this weekend I've got a renewable energy workshop, emergency power generation. We're going to be getting students building wind turbines and generating their own device that can power a mobile phone.
Something I want to ask, I was, you know, just prior to the break, sort of alluding to it with Peter, but Mr. Paul, from that perspective, is it then that we as the parents, not just the educators and the coaches, is it that we need to be a little bit more cognizant of what is happening in their communities? B, we as the UCCIs and the CEC need to make sure that the messaging is not just timely and consistent, but it gets out as much so that more of us know. Because sometimes I liken it to, I don't think I'll ever do it, not even for a Billy Joel concert. There are many who want a concert will camp out for weeks. It seems like I won't do that, right? But is it then that we need to be as the adults in the facilities constantly aware and willing to invest. So if you got a camp out and keep knocking on the door, hey, when's coming up, so that we can get on the list, get in line. There seems to be that thing that there's a growing disconnect. That some of us get there because we're persistent, we're consistent, we're pressing. Then there's some of us that, next time. And then age 1 is a child, and then the child is age 101, and they still never found the next time. How do we get that balance without?
I think the fact that you're giving us a platform like today is a really positive environment, because very often I'm sure there will be people saying, but I didn't know that, even though it's been going for a number of years, they would say, but I didn't know that they were running this camp, why haven't we heard anything about it? So I think, like you say, getting the message out, but more importantly, probably, as Peter says, maybe connecting more with the schools to sensitize them about what they do in the community, so that the students are able to see that, it's not just a summer camp, but there are other activities that they can be a part of to build towards whatever their passions are. The other point I would like to make is that maybe probably looking at the career and guidance path. I think that probably will be very important when students are counseled, so that they can be counseled as to what are some of the career pathways that they can pursue. Very often it's quite limited when you go to a career fair. You just see the normal job being there. But if they can see that I can be a robotic engineer, I can be in this field, I can design games, I can, that opens a really great platform, as opposed to parents just thinking that the child can just pass time just playing games. But to be a game enthusiast and to play requires a certain type of dexterity, a certain type of aptitude, patience, because I don't have the patience to sit playing a game. And I'm sure when I'm not sure CC is participating in that, but the gaming bay that's coming up at the end of the month, that is going to have a huge following of young people to that, and that is another platform that it can be used to educate about what gaming is and the endless possibilities that can be had through gaming. And it's not just sitting in front home at the TV, because that's the first thing we say. All you can do is play games. All you're doing is wasting time. But if we can take the conversation further and help them to understand that gaming has a career industry, and it's a huge industry, then maybe we can begin to have a better, a deeper conversation. I'm sure Peter has some more he wants to add.
Oh, no, I was just basically agreeing with yourself. I mean, because like the Gamers Base coming up, I can't remember, is it not this weekend, but the weekend after?
30th or 31st.
Yeah, and we're going to be there. We're going to be like represented, and we're very excited to be a part of it. We've been asked to attend in cosplay. I don't know if that's going to happen though, but yeah, it's like one of these like opportunities, for like young students to basically see, like, and the parents too, the enablers to understand that some of these avenues, it's not just a bit of fun. Like it can be a career as well. It can be an opportunity, and a very, very successful, lucrative one. It's an absolutely great opportunity.
Right. We have one of our listeners asking, says, greetings, how would a business or how would an individual sponsor a STEM camp at UCCI?
Okay. Well, they can get in contact with Ms. Antoinette Gale, or they can directly contact the CEC, and they can also provide guidance. But through us at the UCCI, we can have a further discussion.
All right. Before you leave, I'll get the specific contact info and send it across. And this is where I think as we have in this discussion, this partnership, others listening, and as you shared, the invitation is there through this medium to get information out, but also for people to respond. Now, when we come back from the break, let's talk more about the camp. See what else CEC has on cards, and perhaps as the summer unfolds, even and probably I would say especially the time in which we find ourselves now in human history, maybe that's when we need to step up and champion certain things, ensure certain things don't just transpire because they can. Let's ensure that they are in a way that is productive and positive. All right, we're going to pause. We're going to take a break. When we return, we invite you to be a part of it. You want to call or share a thought, hey, do so. And then at 1 o'clock for an hour or so, we'd have some open line. Well, I can't promise you I'll sing, but with the right amount of chocolate and incentives, I might be able to keep quiet. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh. Ransomware, DDoS, malware, phishing. If you don't know what those mean, you're not alone. But if you aren't protected against those cybersecurity attacks, then your business is at risk. Don't leave your data or your business vulnerable. Get Digicel Business Protect. Simpler, smarter cybersecurity. Visit our website, www.digicelbusiness.com, to request a callback or call us now on 623-2499.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us in the studio. We know him as Dean Paul Parker, and that program that he runs is amazing. We're not going to talk about Resemble today, but that'll happen probably very soon again. In partnership with Cayman Enterprise today, we have Peter Riley and the STEM camp, but also the continuing partnerships. I think it's not just something that should be encouraging for our society, but reminds us of how we can engage and make a difference. So it's an exciting time for many of us. It's a good time to be a partner. So yeah. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited. Peter was saying it. In a few minutes we had an expression of interest in the summer camp, STEM summer camp. So we look forward to more partners who are willing to be on board and to ensure that there is learning and experiential learning taking place as far. Like I shared earlier, those students are going to have so much fun doing things like computer coding, lionfish dissecting. So it's just not only giving them abroad. They go on tours, to different organizations. They make robots, and they keep whatever they do. Yeah. And currently the cost to them is only $200 thanks to the generous sponsorship of CEC, who covers all the additional cost related to the robots, to lunches, to transport. So we've been fortunate to make it affordable to those students, but it's limited in terms of the time. As you know, it can be time consuming and draining as well, because it's a time when staff are maybe on vacation, but they sacrifice their vacation and really want to posit the indebtedness to them, to say thank you to all those volunteers and staff who come and give up their time to ensure that students learn, and like I said, CEC has been on board with it, and they continue to be the gold mark of what this program is. And they're very heavily involved and support the STEM conference. And that's another area where we welcome support as well. And that's going to take place in March 2023. Originally, normally it takes place in November, but because of the hesitancy of COVID, the restrictions at the time, you know, we wanted to make sure as many people got in, and so now that we've opened up more, by March we're looking forward to a very exciting conference then.
You know, that's the encouraging part. You know, we understand. Well, I didn't want to say that because some of us don't, even though we're supposed to. We see things changing almost daily. Sometimes there's a period of uncertainty, a bit of trepidation, but there's still enthusiasm and excitement. There's still a sense of promising potential, and people are not just burying their heads. They're moving on and expectant and looking, hey, what? Let's have some hope. Let's have a sense of positivity. Okay, it's not November, it's March. You know what? We won't do it now. It's not cancelled, it's postponed. You know what? It's not going to... We're going to keep pressing. And that, I think, is the drive that is within us. You know, what should separate us from others. So, Peter, you and your team, whether it's the financial resource, which is important, but I think it's the physical presence given of your mind and your hands and the resources that makes a difference.
Well, yeah, it's the actual industry experts that will be coming in and able to talk to the students and the teachers and the other people who are taking part and basically do that knowledge transfer, which is something that we see is very important. It's, I mean, considering just like some of these, like the workshops and the STEM summer camp, I mean, they are fantastic events, but as we all understand, you know, they're not just like one-stop shows. They're part of a bigger program. And for many of these students, we hope it will be day one of a larger journey, you know, hopefully developing their careers, developing their interest. So we'll offer like other events and opportunities to try and grow that knowledge and different things, and the STEM Crib Conference is just another example of one of those events.
And I think the skill sets that you develop, the friendships that you are able to, you know, inculcate. But exactly, you get things that take you through life, the teamwork. You're talking about dissecting line of fish. I mean, to me, that's a crucial thing. You're going to go into the kitchen one day, you may be deboning a piece of chicken, you may decide that it's fresh fish, but if you're comfortable with the knife, if you understand it's so crucial. I can see a partnership later on with the culinary arts program, and that person who is there thinking, you know what, I want to be a scientist, I want to get into robotics, may all of a sudden pick up this fish and go, wow, you know what, I really love the kitchen. That could become the next Emeril Lagasse. You just never know where that interest lies. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and to add because you know, it's very often we just say STEM, but sometimes people want to know what is STEM. You know, and that's simply is the science. You know, so the dissecting of the lionfish. You know, taking them through the anatomy and the physiology of the animal. You know, and then how they can see it. You have the technology. Engineering, they're building robots, they're using the computer technology and using their math skills at the same time. So they're doing all these things in a very creative way. Yeah, and so that's why it's called the STEM, you know, building the building blocks of those four pillars in order to expose them to career pathways that can fall in either of those areas so that they can be well-rounded or be proficient in a specific area.
STEM, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I always thought, you know, let me focus on this. No, man. It is where, as we've assigned a label to it, we understand that for those who went through the classical education sort of model, it's not unlike it in a sense, where you come away with skill sets that take you through life. I'm hoping that as parents, we have a question, Dean Paul, that is asking for the STEM camp. Like you would do for the STEM Carb conference on the last day or on the Saturday, the public is invited to see some of the things. Will that be something that you may be able to consider on the last day of your STEM, or even later on to see some of the things that the students have done?
Well, I've not attended one since I've joined the UCCI, but I think it's a good idea and one that I can explore with the organizers to see the possibility of having even if it's an open afternoon session to see parents can see some of the things that have been done. So I think it's something to explore, and I will revert to you so that you can share the feedback with the listening public.
Well, I exchanged with this listener, And the response, as I wanted to read, is that sometimes, and I'll just paraphrase, back, I think the person says, the comment sparked by us as parents who camp out, quote unquote, to make sure we advocate for our children. But sometimes we as parents are busy and we don't see what that thing is, because we're hearing it and we're half hearing it. But if we come in, maybe it is us now, like we would do in many instances, understand what it is, and then be able to share either with our children or the children in our lives. We volunteer in the schools, through the PTA, in our churches. Our organizations get involved with reading programs or the like. The more that we are aware, we can be advocates, and we can say, I saw it. If it's an opportune time, for instance, just to go back to Peter, for instance, I'm not sure. I referenced earlier thinking that this will open up in this place on Candy, but if it isn't, tell us, and if possible, for those who want to either now go to YouTube or later on have a look at it, just hold it, tell us about it. I won't ask you for the demonstration, but
well,
share with us.
It'll hit the roof if I try and use it in here. So from one of the workshops that we put on a few weeks ago, an 11-year-old student designed and 3D printed this toy here, and it was her first time working with any sort of like computer-aided design program, and it was just like the level of aptitude and interest that she expressed in this project, and it was just really, really encouraging, and it was like an opportunity to see, and so rewarding as well, to see that engagement from somebody to realise, I've never done something like this before, I thought I'd try it out, give it a shot, and they created something that is absolutely phenomenal. For want of a better word, I think it's the most cute little thing. You pull the ripcord on it, the little helicopter thing takes off and it flies, and she designed that all within a day.
And what's interesting, as I looked at that, I think, back in my day as a youngster, we didn't have anything like that. It was just rocks and dinosaurs. I just kidding.
But or they just to pull the corks.
that was much centuries later when I was younger. But that was the one that we did, right? It was rather simple, but it was nice technology. Right? You pull the cord and it did a thing, and it probably if you got it to go 10 feet, perhaps you felt good. Some went a little bit higher as earlier versions. But with this, it almost looks drone-like. It has a lot more playfulness to it. The creative and the colouring, I mean, it's awesome.
It is. It's like I say, I can't say enough about how well that student took to the design aspect of it. But there's other elements of it too. You talk about the drone component of it. It actually builds into part of a wider program, because we don't want our events to just be one-off events that get a bit of engagement, and the student and the parent might be like, okay, now what? Where do I then channel this interest? Well, the next workshop we're doing is going to be on renewable energy and wind turbines. So right here we've got the student designed this turbine blade. So here's a different application. Before it was used for a helicopter, now we're going to use it for generating power. We're going to be taking some of the 3D printing components as well and including that in the design. So I mean, there's lots of different avenues to try and build on the knowledge from each different workshop and try and develop that. And as part of the Enterprise Cayman program as well, as the students get older, scholarships, internships and networking events, so there's a continual channel of support.
And I like the idea that as students, with summer camps and the like, the programs, but as adults, you have networking opportunities, for us to not just maybe get introduced, but hey, I'm in this field, let me connect with other people. So you have some networking stuff coming up?
Yes, we do. So on the 27th of July, we're holding our annual Enterprise Cayman networking event. And that's going to be held at the National Gallery here in Cayman. And it's open to anybody ages 18 to 25. You just go onto the website, enterprisecayman.ky, and you'll be able to register, or you can email innovate@enterprisecayman.ky to register your interest, and you'll get to network with dozens and dozens of industry specialists that we work with, and hopefully maybe try and create those opportunities that lead to jobs, that lead to internships, that lead to scholarships even. It's all about making those connections in the community.
Well, I'm excited, and I appreciate the opportunities to speak, to you, Charlie, and all the team at Cayman University. Of course, at UCCA, Mr. Paul is. It's exciting. I'm hoping that we'll get there as a society. It may be incremental steps, but once it's forward and onward, I think we'll get there. Just understanding our objective. So, small steps, they say, take you to the longest journey. Any final thoughts you may want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, just finally that if persons are thinking about the camp, it is closed. just to say that it is closed. It is a phenomenal experience. Thanks again on behalf of the leadership of the UCCI to CEC for their kind and contribution towards it, but also to let the public know that the STEM conference, which they look forward to, because I'm told it's very well supported, that it will happen in March, and it will have its hugely high quality engagement. So even though we've postponed it from November, and they may have had it on their calendars for then, that in March we will have it even more exciting for them.
All right. Well, this is where I think we draw those partnerships. And to you, Mr. Riley, any closing thoughts you may want to leave with the listeners?
Well, just basically to say thank you very much for the opportunity to work with UCCI. I mean, it's I think we share a similar vision in how we want to develop the future of Cayman and those young minds and get them on the career paths that they want to be on. And for anybody who's listening who might be interested in taking part in some of these workshops that might not be able to secure a place in the STEM summer camp, if you go onto the Enterprise Cayman website, there's a link to different workshops, including a future one for drone building and boat design, and the current one that's coming up, the renewable energy and emergency power generation. Go on the website and you maybe find some interesting event. And for those who are maybe a little bit older, who want to try and network, perhaps find their next career opportunity, on July 27th, the National Gallery, we have our networking event to network with some industry experts.
All right, excellent, gentlemen. Yeah, may the Monday be very productive. The week even gets better as the minutes pass. So, all the best to you.
Thank you.
All right, when we return from this break, join us. It's going to be so open line. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. Honorable Sabrina Turner, MP for Prospect, tested positive for COVID-19 this morning using a lateral flow test at home and awaits the results of a confirmatory PCR test. Minister Turner, who is mildly symptomatic, will remain at home for the next 7 days. The Premier, Honorable Wayne Panton, wishes a speedy recovery for Minister Turner on behalf of himself and their colleagues. In international news, Ghana has confirmed its first 2 cases of the deadly Marburg virus, a highly infectious disease in the same family as the virus that causes Ebola. It says both patients died recently in hospital in the southern Ashanti region. Their samples came back positive earlier this month and have now been verified by a laboratory in Senegal. Health officials in the West African nation say 98 people are now under quarantine as suspected contact cases. Western France is facing a heat apocalypse, experts have warned, as extreme temperatures continue to hit much of Europe. Temperatures could reach levels in 15 regions of the southwest, with firefighters battling wildfires and thousands forced to evacuate. Blazes in Spain, Portugal, and Greece have forced thousands more to flee. Record temperatures are also expected in parts of the UK, which has its first ever red extreme heat warning in place. Wildfires in France in recent days have forced over 24,000 people to flee, with emergency shelters set up for evacuees. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Early Bird gets the cheap tickets. Join us at Parker's Raceway July 30th and 31st with tickets starting as little as $10. Race on over to parkersraceway.com and get your Early Bird tickets before they sell out. Follow us on social media for more event details at Parker's Raceway. A big thanks to our sponsors, Monster, Valvoline, AI Rentals, Event Pro, VP Racing Fuels, Parker's, and NGK Spark Plugs. Get your tickets at parkersraceway.com.
You could be the lucky winner in July as part of Kirk Freeport's 50th anniversary sweepstakes. Each month for the whole year, lucky shoppers have a chance to win a jewelry piece or watch from luxury brands. The prize for July is the innovative Tag Heuer Carrera watch that takes you from daytime to a night out with seamless style. Visit any Kirk Freeport store location to enter. Every purchase of $100 gains you entry into the monthly drawing. View terms and conditions on kirkfreeport.com.
Unleash the leadership potential of employees and managers through the globally acclaimed Ken Blanchard series, now offered at the Chamber of Commerce Training Center. Designed for new and experienced managers, the Ken Blanchard series will give new leaders the fundamentals of management, and experienced leaders will learn new best techniques to lead and support staff. Make the Chamber Training Center a partner in your business success. Call the Chamber today at 949-8090 or visit caymanchamber.ky for further information.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And there are many of us, especially now during the summer. We do it, or we know our parents have done it, our siblings, we know, co-workers, and many volunteer in the summer. So thank you, and trust that as we continue to draw alongside each other, we make the community that much better, a safer place, a more productive place, a happier, healthier place. It is open line, and let's go straight to the phones. Welcome, good afternoon, thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hey, how are you today?
Not bad, sir.
Good afternoon, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, okay, sir. Have some I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, sir. It has been. All right. I'm listening.
I was dialing a different number and but I didn't get this number.
What number were you dialing, and where? What are you looking? You want to talk on the talk show?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Well.
Sorry about that.
No. Hey, listen, it could be better, it could be worse, but all the best to you, okay? And the beauty sometimes, how things happen. Other times, we may see this as a coincidence. And what is important is whether we can be of value. And that's, as I was sharing, that in particular in the summers, we see it all year. There are many of us that we're so glad that there are people like that who give of themselves tirelessly, And during the summers, whether it's the vacation Bible schools, whether it's the other sort of camps and endeavors that unfold to engage our children. And I said to share that I had an extended discussion this morning with a number of individuals, some of whom are college students who are home for the summer, some, two in particular, who didn't return for different reasons. We'll leave that for now. And the need that throughout the year, but in particular during holidays. One parent said, it seems that it may be an opportune time to look at how we structure a school year. But in absence of that, whatever we do, it isn't to punish the children, it's to keep them engaged and to understand the importance of play, not just for that young child in the early formative years of education, but throughout life, for us to learn through play and to engage so that they get not just a chance to enjoy what they're doing without some stress of examination or the pressures that come with just man-imposed time restrictions. But as she was sharing, she says it's important that as we look at the summer and the activities, not just the supervision that we need for the very, sort of young child, but even her adolescents. And her employer, they've been, for a while trying to figure out how to spread their staff so that the work gets done. End of the day, people want their paychecks. People want to see the profits and the returns from their investments. Clients, want and need to be served. But how do we balance that? And a few ideas were thrown out there. But let me ask you, first off, do you think there's a need to be able to harness the resources within our society, not just the financial resources? Thankfully, many can access, money from other places. Many entities and individuals happily sponsor, but the people, so that we can provide the necessary, not just supervision, but the necessary instruction. And if so, well, how do we do it? First, let's ask the question, is that something that is absolutely necessary? Is it that there's a need for it? And then secondly, how we can do it. I'll give us an example. Many churches for a while now recognize, as I understand it, for two reasons that were the big drivers in the change. Instead of the vacation Bible schools taking place during the day, it started to occur in the evenings after work, presumably for two reasons. One, that's when they could get the help, and two, it seemingly that as parents were engaged, well, that was a time that they needed that assistance as well. But it also meant that there was a void during the day. Now, we know that the government, for instance, puts on many sports camps. There'll be a week of swimming or two. There'll be a week of basketball and netball and football and other sports, and they'll move as best as they can throughout, the different venues, serving as much as possible all of the communities. But if you've got 8 weeks of summer and you have one football camp, let's say just limited to the wonderful team at the sports department, well, what about the other 7 weeks? And even if all of the 8, just as an example, 8 weeks are one different activity for the week, well, that child may only experience one of those weeks. Is there another way? Are there other ways to partner? We know a lot of activities unfold. Some are, to some parents, exorbitant and they can't access because it's just too expensive. There are others that are not as expensive but still costly. Now, everything has a cost. Doesn't matter if it's fully sponsored by an individual or a corporation, but it's still a cost. So how do we make sure that we're doing something? Well, be interested to hear from you as to whether or not you think there's a need, or do you think there's a lot of stuff already going on, but we're not taking advantage of it? We're just, as someone said today, just banging about the place. Well, what is your thought? Hey, 949-8037, 949-8037, or 949-6990. Then you can use the Flow toll-free line if you so choose, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. As we think of that, there was also another quick meeting that I was not, and as I said to the individuals, always appreciative of the offer to sit and listen, take notes, and to learn. I couldn't stay, understandably so. I had to get back here. For some, as they reconvene for lunch, well, I have to be here. So I'm very grateful that as you take your lunch, you spend some time with us and listen and share your thoughts with us. But they were saying that one of the things that perhaps is being overlooked or not necessarily properly understood is what role we as civil society play in governance. What role are we as the individuals outside of core government or statutory authorities or the elected arm of government or the like? What role should we be playing in ensuring that society continues to function? The presentation that I listened to hadn't concluded, the gentleman was of the view that in a time, in a space, way back when that he was more active, a lot of the things that happened because the members of the community saw the need and responded. Now he said, he's been here for a long time, but he's not from here originally. But that's what he understood, how it went from the assistance we got to building our homes to the responses of our people that even perhaps, led to those individuals forming some of the service clubs or putting together many of the programs. They saw a need and they did it. They didn't wait for a government or for someone else, whether from within or, in many times from outside. He gave us an example where there was a level of responsiveness, trained members of the community, male and female, and certainly even very young, 14, 15, and increasingly as they become to age of majority, they were trained more to be able to respond to natural disasters. They were able to respond to the things that threaten those communities. He said for them it was brush fires. Without any warning, fire could just occur, and so they had a plan, a response. And for the longest time, the fire brigade was a voluntary thing. Over time, it became a little bit more formalized with respect to stipend being issued. But for the maintenance of the firehouse and the vehicles, most of it was sponsored and supported by the community. Now, we have a very professional fire service, highly skilled and trained individuals, and I think it gives us a great sense of confidence. Now, as the fellows shared, as our society develops and evolves, the buildings are being built using different technologies. They're being built much higher than they were, decades ago. So we have to be more responsive. But he shared, are we able to harness, the energies and the abilities within our communities to complement and supplement what may already be, a paid professional service. He gave us an example, and here he says, as someone who's been there for a long time, but still as an outsider looking in, the special constabulary, many people have been there for a long time, and they serve. Look at the volunteers in the service clubs, or the individuals who assist without any great fanfare. And he's asking, is there a way for our communities to engage with each other, especially now? Now, I was listening, and as I left, I hope that we'll continue to expand on our community emergency response teams, the CERT teams. But as I was coming back to the studio, that was the sort of the main thought in my mind, that as he was sharing, we have an opportunity, a model. We're seeing hazard management and the Red Cross partnering, and through the training from the first aid to all of the other skill sets that we're instilling in our communities, it is quite conceivable that through that we could really formalize a wonderful response to, as I said, a community emergency response team that spans not just each island but the entire country. It has resonated with me. Perhaps it's something you might be able to guide me so that I'm not necessarily so enamored with it that I've not seen it as objectively as I should. But again, we have examples where these things occur in other jurisdictions, that it isn't just a paid thing where people make a career, but it can be something that is complemented by the wider community. If you give it as an example, if you have a member of your family or in your circle of friends who are particularly skilled at something, and they may not necessarily be doing that all the time. Let's say it's in auto repair or the like, but they can assist you even just give you a bit of insight. Hey, listen, I heard your car, that little sound, you need to get it checked. It's more than likely this, possibly this is what it is. You go with that information, you're a more informed consumer. And you take it to your regular mechanic to get it serviced. She looks at it and she says, well, this it is, but she looks at it more closely. She also identifies other things. It gives you a sense of comfort, knowing that you have that trust in the professionalism of that person, but you also have that extended resource, of your circle of friends, as it were. We enhance and enlarge the skill set. It could be much, much, much more beneficial. Like in everything else, many hands can indeed make light work when the hearts are joined. Well, give us a shout. It's a Monday, and man, there is a lot happening. I keep asking myself, at what point will the wider community speak publicly to the things that we talk, under the breadfruit tree when we assemble to the domino table. It isn't that we sort of betraying confidence, is that perhaps as someone shared earlier, is because we assume that everybody knows, everything about everything, when in fact for some people, when they hear about it, it's wow, that's new to them, but it's probably decades old. Well, where are we in sharing that information and ensuring that we have timely responses and that we are speaking to things from a sense of objectivity, willing to partner to ensure that there's a sense of responsibility, and at the end of the day, what we're providing is not just timely and accurate, but it is as impartial as possible. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261, and share your thoughts with us. As I share that, I'm mindful that many of us are at a space and a place where we're increasingly, concerned with how the country is getting back to a space of having more and more people visit the shores to return. Some have understandably expressed a sort of a sense of angst, a little bit of fear. Well, is this how it should be? We still see many individuals still being very mindful, very, very cautious with respect to their goings and comings and the like. And then there are some of us who are saying, well, what is it that's transpiring? What is it that we should be doing? Is this any more than that? And I share that to ask, reflecting on a discussion over the weekend, that if we are not as tolerant and accepting and as accommodating of others' opinions, if we're not of the notion that sometimes, even with the best intentions, that thing which we're trying to do could in fact be our undoing. How do we make sure that successive generations have that same level of safety and security and stability in their society? But now we, as we occupy this space here and now, not only have that sense of enjoyment and freedom, but corresponding responsibility to promote, preserve, and protect things that were fought for, not just during wars, but through petitions, public demonstrations, to ensure that democracy is indeed preserved. Well, give us a perspective. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261, and share with us, where you are. Now, the other sort of comment that we were hoping the gentleman would share some of his insight with us, as he has relayed earlier, perhaps, or should I say, later in the week. When he called me early, he is saying that it's almost as if many of us, when we moving about our communities, we see what is transpiring as a fait accompli. And for him, he says, well, when he looks at his age and his expected time here, well, he's had his, 10, as it were. And as I said to him, knowing that there are several years my senior, there's always that great difference, not just for the age, but for the person. Why is it that we're willing to accept it when we see statistically we have a population that is not just aging, but it's very active. Their minds are still agile. Their willingness to contribute and participate probably more than ever. And as he was sharing, he was asking, why is it that we expect, just like he was relaying, that when we get to that perspective, that we're almost expected to be sidelined. Now, he shared, he may not be able to go, and run the 100-meter and win the gold medal, but can he still run it? Now, it may not be seconds, it may be more like minutes, but he can still do it. Or if you're, 80 and 90, is there still a healthy sense of respect? Is our society one that is not just respectful and of those who are older, but are they still invited, accommodated, included, and expected to participate in our society? Not just the concessions that they may get, because they go to have a meal at a place and they get a seniors discount, or they're in line at some place. It shouldn't be, he said, that we need to pass a law for that, or that we need to create a special line. Those things are good. It should be that the ethos within the society would recognize. He said, unfortunately, we've changed so much. He shared, and I think we've probably all may have witnessed this, unfortunately, not just here but other places. There's an expectant mother, and many would give her an accommodation, or there's a mother with a few children in tow and give her accommodation so that she can get through. Or it's just a lady, someone perhaps may assist by opening the door or offer up. And yet, how are we as people responding? He said, for instance, he was in line not long ago, and he had a few items, but the person that came up behind him had a few items less. He wasn't particularly in no great hurry, and he offered the person, well, hey, if you wish to go ahead, you can. Now, you've done it, I've done it, and I'm sure, like him, you've experienced both, where the person is going, oh, thank you so much, even if they have had more than you, or they only had one item. And then there are times when they would go, well, it's okay, you can see that your gesture of kindness somehow has irritated them, that they are thinking, oh, there's some ulterior, motive. Now, is it that that's how it should be? Where is the altruism? Is it that everything's perceived to come at a cost? Perhaps because it has been your experience. Well, we're going to pause and take a break. When we come back, as we go into our summer, as we engage perhaps, with our friends and family and thoughts of what we're doing, and as we're thinking of traveling, as we're wondering, where we're going to end up a year hence, well, give us a perspective. 8949-8837 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Subway is giving you flavor around the clock with the new Chicken Squad sandwich options. Try the classic chicken and bacon ranch, the sweet and savory barbecue chicken, or the chicken cordon bleu. 3 new appetizing and delicious sub options that you can also make into a wrap. The Chicken Squad is available at Subway for only a limited time. Subway, giving you something to cluck about.
Make your house into a home Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Stay clean, stay safe, hey man. Reflection sells gallons of sanitizer for only $25. Buy 2 clip-on sanitizers for just $5. Reflections has the best KN95 masks or reusable cloth masks, and you can get 2 for only $5. Blue surgical masks and face shields are available for children and adults, as well as 10 and 50 packs of black surgical masks. Volume discounts available at Reflections. Jose's Rubus, Reflections Hemp and Tobacco, all 5 Liquor for Less locations, and Food for Less open 24 hours every day. Don't miss the Liquor for Less incredible priced better markdown. Hundreds of fine from $2.99. Cases of ice cold below wholesale prices. Save $10 off liters of absolute exclusively at Liquor for Less. Prices so low we can't say them on the radio.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. It's 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. And invite you, as part of the open line segment, to be a part of a discussion and share with us your thoughts. And I recognize, as was shared with us earlier, that we heard increasingly, first the Honorable Premier, now the Honorable Health Minister, and more and more of our community members, not just only testing positive, but sharing with us how they're feeling. So we wish all of those who are laboring under this now, a speedy and healthy recovery. Perhaps you have a perspective and you want to share. Perhaps you, like some of us who are increasingly become fatigued and overwhelmed, and perhaps not even fully cognizant of what's transpiring. So it does not mean that we should engage in any level of complacency. Let us continue to do the things that we used to do, or if we hadn't, that we perhaps start to ensure that our health, from ensuring that our environments are as clean as we can. There are those of us who grew up in a home where it was most of our mothers and grandmothers, but the smell of pine sol and similar cleaning sort of applications were the fragrance of the day, and we're thankful that they employed what they live by. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So we had that practice, and hopefully we continue to do likewise. And then there are others who, for them, this is how they should proceed and this is what they should be doing. And hopefully we'll be able to draw alongside those individuals to ensure that they too are as safe, not just physically, but we respect their mental health as well. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, the other thing that sort of made my day somewhat much more engaging and informative, despite the hour at which it transpired. I think for those who work in certain industries, or whether it's construction or hospitality, whether you're working on a boat, or whether you are, in some building where your clientele is, many time zones away. We were up, relatively early. Well, having a chance to be part of a presentation takes place, in an academic institution, I think whether we're here or otherwise, it gives us insight to what transpires. This particular professor was sharing that what is happening around the world and how does that impact almost all of us. And as she went through, she laid out a few things. She says, well, immediately we're seeing increased costs, and we can attribute it to different things. She went through different economies and pointed to the growing unrest with the political directorate, citizens protesting, and as a result, perhaps potentially you'll see new elections and new leadership. But will that, as she shared, will that bring about any meaningful change? If there isn't any change in terms of how things are done. She looked at the currency devaluations, the impact of inflation on certain economies, the need to withdraw money and then reprint new money, because that existing currency was so badly sort of devalued that it really didn't. It wasn't even worth the paper to print on. Perhaps that's the case with most fiat currencies, but nonetheless. And then people employing different mediums of exchange in order to store value. And what does that do, for that economy, but even for the credibility of some currencies? And then as she talks, she says, well, if the issue is that there potentially are products, but they can't get to market because of the bottlenecking of some of the supply routes, or because of the available personnel is no longer there. And are we understanding why there may be limited skill sets to serve that particular sector? And then on, sort of overarching the whole thing, she says, well, what if powers that be are jockeying position and we as citizenry are being used as pawns, and great wealth is being created, perhaps greater political powers will emerge as the landscape sort of redefine. Now, where the lecture was taking place, she could easily point to her region and to see the potential for not just unrest from its citizens and protests and the like, but the political sort of directorate making overtures to either cement its position or to reclaim lost ground. She shared, for instance, if you look at some of the things that are transpiring in the UK, who potentially may emerge as the next prime minister, and that process being now solely conducted by the members of that party as opposed to the citizens. And her question was, well, is that democracy? Should it now, if the prime minister, despite the practice and sort of the understanding of their party system and their political model, well, should there now be an election for the country to go back and re-vote? And if they still maintain the party system, well, perhaps the person who is now the leader of the existing party, or the person who is the leader of another party, perhaps that person, because of the appeal, or in some cases the rejection of one side or the other, could lead to another vote. Now, but one in a small group listening to the presentation, and as it unfolds, we always have our own little discussions, trying hard to pay attention. But in listening to that, let me ask of you, what is your view? If I understood it correctly, and hopefully as I shared, it is somewhat coherent. She's saying in the UK, you've got the ruling party now having to select amongst itself who is going to be their prime minister. And her premise is that, well, if that person is removed as the head of the party, well, should it now not be that it just shouldn't happen like that? The country should go back to a vote, because there may be an opportunity that whoever the party picks may not be who the electorate wants. Is that democracy? Or another individual who is head of another party or some other entity might prove more popular from the voters' perspective and you could have a change in leadership. Now, you give it a thought, share your thoughts with us, and tell me what you think. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. She was mulling that over, some of us were sharing, well, what about one country looking at its, own sort of borders and saying, well, really this is part of our possession, and therefore, we are free to do what we want within here, within a certain level of parameters, without international sort of sanction and the like. And she gave us an example when, Russia, not long ago, looked at the Crimea, and the word that was used, it was annexed. It wasn't much, being said by the international community. Now, it's sort of a movement into Ukraine has created a significant pushback from the world economy relative to sanctions and the like. Now, many have shared, well, wait, why is it that this situation warrants a greater response than other refugees leaving perhaps, much more dire circumstances and nothing is said? But then she says, well, you have China and you have Taiwan, a long-standing, discussion, I'll use that word, that's been unfolding for the longest time. What if China says, well, as it has said many times, this is ours, and if we need to, take it by force, we will. Well, could they? Should they? And what would be the response and the consequence if that was to transpire? Then she says, well, go back to history. Don't go back too far. But what about when England and Hong Kong had their relationship, and then there was the handover? Well, should that have been something that may have occurred differently, could have a different consequence now? Or is it that just like that example and others in history and since, it's all one and the same? You've had your lease on your vehicle, the 5-year lease or the 3-year lease has come to an end, and now it's given back to subject to whatever costs and conditions are part of the lease agreement. Well, an autonomous nation or just another sort of possession? 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261 and share your thoughts. These are the interesting things where I think as students, whether they're in high school or whether, as we've seen in some of our primary schools, some of our teachers engage students and their young minds, maybe not as in depth as they could and should get as the grades go on, but still introduce them to what's working around the world, and then in particular our university students, not just the grad students. And I say that to share that as I was leaving, a fellow called and said, one of the things that is sorely missing from our society is the inability or sheer unwillingness at times to have discussions that are not esoteric, to have discussions that challenge not just the status quo and the thought processes, but promote within people a greater sense of thought, to get them to look at things more, sort of inquiringly and ask, not just harder questions, but just ask questions and to appreciate the impact. As I was driving, he was sharing. If you look at the Cayman environment now, and we're seeing people complaining, well, they're not making enough money because things are expensive. Well, if you get more money to pay for those things, where's that money coming from? And will the price of those things go up in order to pay for that? He's shared, look at the shelves in our supermarkets, look at the supplies of certain things. What is the potential impact if that continues? Well, let's pause, take this short break. When we come back, we invite you to share a thought. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
You could be the lucky winner in July as part of Kirk Freeport's 50th anniversary sweepstakes. Each month for the whole year, lucky shoppers have a chance to win a jewelry piece or watch from luxury brands. The prize for July is the innovative Tag Heuer Carrera watch that takes you from daytime to a night out with seamless style. Visit any Kirk Freeport store location to enter. Every purchase of $100 gains you entry into the monthly drawing. View terms and conditions on kirkfreeport.com.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands. For the month of July, the Needs Assessment Unit will hold their district visits as follows. Friday, 15th July, the Needs Assessment Unit will be in Bodentown from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bodentown Public Library. And on Friday, 22nd July, NAU will hold a district visit in West Bay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the West Bay Public Library.
Talk to Dick.
But I do have some questions.
Talk to Dick.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk to Dick.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. It is open line 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. And I'll share with you, man. It's, I had a quick call during the break. a fellow was saying, he looks forward to his summers because it gave him a chance to engage more with his children. And, and I asked him, he was responding to my question whether we think there's a growing need to be able to more actively engage our children as summers unfold. And hopefully, as he gave me permission to share some of the things, I don't do what he, certainly would not appreciate. For those who know him, know he is perhaps one of the most private public people you'll ever know. But he said, he grew up in an environment where his family's ability to take, a long, sort of extended summer holiday was just great. It was part of what he, looked forward to as his children got older and he moved to Cayman. And he has shared the story a number of times. And I recognize that there are many of us who grew up in those places. Perhaps it was the environment of that particular town or that particular continent, even in some places where the summer holidays were good. Now, he had shared once, and despite the limited sort of time to chat during the break, he did remind us that maybe that's something that we need to look at here. Is it a way that we can move away from what is constantly just work and work and work? And he shared it isn't like how many of us are, just chasing to make more money much faster to be able to retire sooner. It is because for some, we just have to work, and it's the nature of the work. And so there isn't any downtime. He gave us an example. He was involved in a particular business, and at a particular time of the year, the business closed. That was the nature of the industry. That gave people a needed sort of time to recharge and rejuvenate, and then the other time of the year they worked extensively. He had shared, and he has been in Cayman for an extended period of time, that we had a tourist season, and for some they worked. When we had a high season would be the words that we would use, and they worked constantly. And during the low season, they were able to survive. But he shared it needed to be more than that, not that sort of cyclical and seasonal employment. He said, what about the environment he had as a child, where at a particular time, for an extended period, the family took a holiday and they enjoyed themselves. Now, there are some who realize that may come either from a position of affluence. Now, he said, and I have no reason to doubt anything in that respect. He said they were not, a rich family. That summer holiday was something that they did. They understood that there were certain financial sacrifices that had to be made in order to do that, but they worked towards it. But he shared that the difference it was the sort of the societal ethos. You took that holiday. Now, things have naturally changed. But he was asking, as we look at the Cayman context, we're working every day and we're complaining when our businesses are not open, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now, as he shared that, let me ask what he's asked. Is that something that we're pointing fingers and blaming everybody, or is that something that we need to look at and revisit? When the supermarkets used to close at 11 initially, some would say, well, why are they open so late? And then we went to the place, why are they not open 24 hours? Why are they not open every day? Now we're seeing, a gradual pushback that they're now closing an hour earlier. How has that affected us? He's of the view it has been a positive, not a negative consequence, not just for those who work, but for us as people to realize, if they were open to midnight, we would go there at midnight. If they close at 9, well, we will make an effort to get there before they close. Are we willing to make adjustments? And then he shared, with the summers, okay, you can't travel for an extended time. Perhaps you can't afford it, but could you spend more time here? And in the absence of the financial ability to take an extended holiday, whether you're driving across the contiguous U.S. or whether you're going through Europe, or you're spending a time as he thinks would be, most beautiful on the BRAC. if you're spending time and making memories, would that not be better for all, and in particular our children, because they're not only getting a chance to connect to their parents, but they're getting to make those memories. Now, where is it, he says, that we are falling down, that we have so much happening in our societies that families are no longer connecting, and even the extended hours that we're making, people have to work, that we're requiring. He gave us an example. He saw it, within his sector. The growing expectation that there was a fight to see who could get into the office earlier, who could stay the latest. Not necessarily that they were productive. Yes, the work was being done. There were times when things were very urgent, very time sensitive, and you had to work extended hours to get, that deal put together, that report out, that thing done. Not unlike you're building and you want to make sure that you get the windows in, the roof on before the expected, weather. You want to perhaps meet a particular deadline that's not just arbitrary and not just one that's unreasonable. But that aside, he said those should be the exception and not the norm. And yet, in the small Cayman context, we seem to be working, constantly. And then we're questioning, well, why these things are unfolding in our society. The increase in divorces, the disconnection of families, the seemingly disparity amongst siblings. Well, he shared those thoughts with us previously, and as he reminded us, perhaps there needs to be that revisit within the society, and it needs to be driven by the wider community, and not just something that is for a few people, and perhaps those who may be considered to be more affluent and privileged. It should be, as a small community with the great access that we have to the beaches and the outdoors, something that isn't taken for granted as much as it is. Now, like me, I think he experienced, for the time that he was here, that inability to access the outdoors and the beaches to be quite punitive. Not only because that's something that we would do quietly, but because we understand the importance of it, not just from our childhood, but even now, not to go outside to get a tan, as it were, but to be able to smell the air, to understand the importance of that freedom. And his final sort of thought is, well, where is civil society in ensuring that those freedoms are not just preserved and protected, not just promoted, but they're championed and they are, in a way, shared by all of us, so that we understand that you give up something now under the guise of believing, and if that belief is mistaken and misplaced, well, what then is the consequence? Can you then claw it back? 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. And this is where I think as a society we're so much, better. We're strengthened when we have people like him who have been with us for, decades, and who can share their experiences. They can remind us of what is truly valuable and important. They draw alongside, and sometimes not just work as hard, they work harder. They support, but they also lead the charge, as it were. And my view of him is like many. He's a great fellow. He has contributed and still continues to contribute, and he's very much, evident of others like him in our communities. And prayerfully, hopefully, we'll find the importance of uniting and drawing alongside each other, not just because we're more alike, but because of the importance of the safety in numbers, the sense of security, the stability, but the societal ethos that we can inculcate if we have shared values with respect to, ensuring that we are in a very best place possible, and our collective efforts make a difference, but our individual sort of stance also is instructive and informative. And if we all want the same thing, that is a safe, secure, stable society where people value each other and they are able to celebrate collectively, be able to quietly enjoy and reflect. They're able to share a perspective and access leadership from the political to the ecclesiastical and the like. Well, that is a healthy society. All right, we're going to head to our headline news shortly. When we return, we get a chance to do something that we've done for a while. And Ms. Vanya, she will share with us what I think is her endeavor to provide a sense of openness, accountability, and transparency. Let's pause and take that break, and when we come back, more Talk Today.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Resilience, Sustainable Energy and Marine Biodiversity Program has given the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency an award of more than €1.2 million to improve energy efficiency in public sector buildings and government-built National Housing Development Trust homes. In international news, President Vladimir Zelinsky has suspended the head of Ukraine's spy agency and the Prosecutor General, citing many cases of treason in the two powerful organizations. He said more than 60 former employees were now working against Ukraine in Russian-occupied areas. A total of 651 collaboration and treason cases had been opened against law enforcement officials, he added. A report into the Uvalde school shooting in Texas that killed 21 people has found systemic failures and egregiously poor decision-making by those involved in the response. The Committee of State Legislators highlighted a lack of leadership and urgency, describing a lackadaisical approach by authorities at the scene. Nearly 400 officers rushed to the site, but police waited over an hour to confront the attacker. The report was published on Sunday. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
We wanna go and dally.
Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine. 7 Mile Beach might have changed, but Backyard is bringing it back. True Caribbean food in the heart of 7 Mile, just like Mama's home cooking. Brown stew snapper, Cayman-style beef, jerk chicken, turtle stew, and the delicious list goes on. Dine in, take out, or order with the Bento app. Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine, 269 West Bay Road, or call 746-4603. Backyard, daily lunch specials, and the one-of-a-kind Fun Day Sunday brunch.
Backyard. Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks very much for this opportunity. And earlier, I was sharing that we're so grateful that in our communities we have so many wonderful people who continue to give, tirelessly of themselves continually. And for those who are going to be joining us and those who will watch us on YouTube, we can quickly cast our minds back to the women in our society. I say this, that a statue in town, as important as it is, it could be 50 billion miles high, or it still wouldn't convey the respect, the gratitude, the appreciation that we have for our women. Today, as we look at these three credible ladies, I think it's just evident that that tradition continues. So, Ms. Ivana, thanks to you in particular. As we go around, we'll share Ms. Felicia and Lisa the chance to chat. But Cayman International, girl power, right?
Just a quick little synopsis, I guess, of what we are and about, etc. I don't think we're anything new to the community now. We've been around since 2015. God has been so gracious that we have been blessed with so many support for this program, and it really is a good program. It is not just about pageantry, even though that's the surrounding part of it. That's what the core is, but it goes so much further, where we teach these girls etiquette training, how to use a knife and fork. It's something as simple as that a lot of people just don't know how to do,
We take it for granted. We take it for granted.
Absolutely. And it starts at a young age, and so we focus on interviewing skills, public speaking, and we do a lot of things in the community. Of course, everybody knows about COVID, and we're sick of hearing about COVID, but we, had to pause for that while. But now we're back in full force, and, we do beach cleanups, we do visits to the Pines. We always do a charity each year where we go and we spend our time giving our talent, be it singing or dancing or playing an instrument, sharing our time. And so basically the girls are now ready to go away. We had the pageant in May. They're off to Orlando just this Saturday, actually. And so we're here because we had our raffle, annual raffle fundraiser. It's our biggest one. The tickets are only $5. And again, the overwhelming pour of support from the community is just amazing. And so that's what we're here to do, this draw. And then I'm going to stop talking now. Next people.
Miss Felicia, why don't we start with you? Because I think sometimes, we're focusing on young ladies, if that's okay to say. And maybe I'll ask a couple of things. One, that age, and then second, for you as parents, why do we engage our children in some of the things? But let's start with that.
So I'm a new pageant mom. This is my first year ever getting involved in something like this. And my daughter was on me. She went to the Miss Teen pageant last year and was like, Mommy, I want to be Miss Teen. I want to go in the pageant. Like, she's ready to go in Miss Teen. She had to start at the younger level because she's only 8 years old, but she was ready to take on Miss Teen like you would not believe. And I did dilly-dally for a while because this isn't my thing, and kind of like, well, let's just wait and see. Maybe she would forget about it. But no such luck. Full force. She was just on me every day. Did they write back? When we going in? What's going on? And for her, it's an amazing journey because of the fact that about a year plus ago, she was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, which she still has and is learning by the grace of God to deal with it. But to have an anxiety disorder where she normally has to have everything in place and have it perfect to be able to cope with it and to be able to take on jumping on the stage where there's tons of unknowns and just owning it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing to see her come alive on the stage. If you saw her in practice, she was kind of quiet, kind of timid, not sure. And the minute we started to cheer, oh my goodness, she just lit up and she did an amazing job and was able to walk away with the title for her division, Little Miss. So she's 2022 Cayman's Little Miss, International Miss. And since then it's kind of just put me on a mission to get support for not only for her, but for all the girls to be able to do it, because I think it opened my eyes to something bigger, to see what she could become, to see her take on her fears and just face it head on at age 8, to just go for something, set a goal and go for it. Well, why not support that? I mean, we need to continue to develop that in all of our kids, and the pageant gave her the opportunity, and the support from the community is giving her and all the girls the opportunity to travel. So for those of you that think it's just a beauty pageant, it's so much more. And I say that because that was me.
I know. There's a lot of people out there that just like, oh, you're teaching the girls to go out and put on makeup and look pretty. It's not even about that. It's so much more.
And I'm glad for this opportunity to chat with you. And Felicia, thanks for sharing that, because I think sometimes we don't understand what it does, what it means. And I know we're here for a particular purpose. I appreciate your commitment to be as open and transparent and accountable with the Raffle draw, and I think that's why the society is so supportive. But Lisa, from that perspective, we see our young people, and I'm not trying to be inflammatory. Honestly, I'm not even trying to insult or offend anybody. But we've seen this firsthand in our own lives, and our children, our neighbors, our co-workers. The level of anxiety in the last 2+ years that is evident. Little boys no longer want to engage in activities. Grown men, right, who are in every shape, form, or fashion, embodies what you think a man is like. Having that thing. And then our young ladies, right, from our mothers to our sisters to our daughters to our aunts to even to our grandmothers. This, I think, Felicia, I appreciate you sharing that because it gives them to own something, to step up. So, Lisa, from that perspective, not only are we parents, we need to be chaperones, but we need to we need to do it all, right?
Well, for me, I think I'm the more
veteran person.
I'm the veteran.
The season was the word.
So we have a first timer and a forever timer.
This is my 7th year with Cayman International Girl. I have 2 girls in there now, not just one. I started out with one. She was the first Baby Miss contestant when Cayman International Girl started. So I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. Both are competing and going off to Orlando. For my girls, it's not just the dressing up and looking pretty. It's the friends they get to meet overseas and locally, that bond that they get to have with each other. Like Felicia said, especially with Kezia. When I first met Kezia, me and Felicia has been classmates and friends for years. But meeting Kezia, we have basically helped her a lot too when it came to the pageant, encouraging her. And her and Khadijah, hit it off there in the same category. And it wasn't like we're competing against each other. It's like we're helping each other as sisters.
Yeah, as you are, man.
So some people need to understand when we say that we're going for a pageant, it's not just because we want to go and dress up. But it helps the girls to come out of their shyness, out of their cocoon, as what you would call it, and bloom into a beautiful butterfly.
And also believe that they're a beautiful butterfly.
That's it.
We try to influence them and let them know it's not all about the winning. And it's not all about being in a competition. It's all about what fun you can have and the friends you keep, because you get friends for lifetime. We've been into different countries, or I should say in the States, for different pageants since I've been there. And the friends that we have are lifetime friends, even though some of them don't even compete because they got older or whatever, or moved on. We still communicate because of the pageant. And the girls love that. They'd be excited to say, oh, yes, we're going to see that one we haven't seen forever. Or, you know. My little smallest one, she's a handful. But since she's coming into the pageant, she's meddling out a little. Yeah. When she puts on those clothes, she's a totally different person. But when she's out of it, she's hyper and what. But she knows the difference at being 3 years old.
But it's about molding them, right? So it's helping to mold them into what.
So molding her into a pageant queen has been phenomenal. I love, anywhere I can help any one of them. I don't, like I say, I'm like the veteran, but I don't see myself as being, some pageant moms you have that say that. No. If she need help, that one need help, I'm there.
That's what is it.
And I put my best out, and anywhere that I can help them, I do, and encourage everybody. Anybody see me, they're like, Lisa, are you in the pageant this year? I was like, yeah, come, we starting so, encouraging other parents and, and I always tell them it's not just a pageant. It's a development program for young ladies. It helped to develop, what you can be at a
the self-confidence, the self-esteem. And we probably don't recognize this until we are adults. We see it in ourselves and we see it in others. As confident as we are, there are little things that we wish were different. We had opportunities. And I commend you all for this, for drawing alongside, for developing, for nurturing. Thankfully, you providing a prayerful, safe place that gives our children that bond. And this is where I think this community can be strengthened. Now, you have great support, Ms. Ivana?
Yes, we do. So we want to give our biggest shout-outs. First of all, so much people, and I don't like to name places in case you miss, but there are absolutely some that you have to say a big thank you to. So the first one is Health City. We want to give a big thank you to Health City for their support. Am I allowed to say the amount? I don't even know.
That's up to you.
Basically, thank you so much to Health City for being so involved in the community and seeing the value of this program and absolutely being an integral part of these ladies going overseas to represent the Cayman Islands. Initially, we had 20 girls. I think there's probably only like 1 or 2 that can't make it, but that's still a big number to take overseas representing the Cayman Islands. These are delegates, you know, they're going to be the face of the Cayman Islands and to show people who we are and what we are in Caymankind all along the way. Another big support was the Ministry of Tourism, so a big thank you to them. Shout out to the minister for that, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, and who else? See, this is why I don't like to name, because I start to forget.
Gave us some
Fosters
as
and
well. All the
thank
people
you
who
so
did
much,
the gift
Mr.
certificates.
Woody. And then so many places that did the gift certificates. Obviously, as we go along, I'll be able to say, you know, the prizes that we're winning. But it's basically over 30 prizes, and we have anywhere from Captain Marvin's, Ragazzi, we have Cayman Airways vouchers, we have beauty salons, just cost you less, you know.
So should we get started drawing those?
Absolutely. I wasn't sure if you were taking a break. I wasn't sure.
Paul,
is it a break?
we got to draw some raffle tickets. What do you want us to do? Take a break first, or we can go till 5 o'clock? All right. All right. We're going to pause.
Okay.
Good segue. Quickly pause, come back. We're going to draw prizes.
Yes.
And the winners are going to be announced. The sponsors are going to be highlighted. I'm excited. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the eastern districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Superior Auto is pleased to announce the grand reopening of the new Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center on Seymour Drive. New opportunities, new beginnings, a new home for Caymanian youth seeking career training and certification in high-demand trades such as automotive repair, AC, refrigeration, and so much more. Put the value in your pocket. Fun fact, the average hourly rate for a tradesman can be 4.5 times the minimum wage. The Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center is a not-for-profit program. Accepting applications from June 20th to July 20th. Contact 949-9570 or 525-9571 to apply today. The Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center, successfully building the next generation of hardworking Caymanians since 2010.
Commission for Standards in Public Life reminds all persons subject to the Standards in Public Life Act that declarations are due by 30th of July. If you're struggling to complete your annual declarations of interest, the Commission for Standards in Public Life has a new tutorial video available to provide further guidance. Visit Standards in Public Life Commission.ky/register of interest to view the tutorial video today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks for joining us. An opportunity now to draw some prizes. Cayman International Girl. And Ivana, thanks to you and Miss Felicia for being so candid. Not sharing exactly your perspective only, but for being so committed and involved. And I think, Lisa, as we were thinking the same thing, we said seasoned, you say veteran. Seasoned. We like that, that seasoned professional.
Yes.
So, I gotta let you tell me how we're gonna do this, as you can do it before, as we always have. But we're drawing some things, and we're drawing them all.
Absolutely, and just for those who are tuning in, I'm going to take it.
No, you can have it. I want to get some
just
break.
Basically, this is the Cayman's International Girl pageant. It's a youth development program. We've been around since 2015. Basically, being involved in the community, trying to instill different skills in our youth of all ages, etiquette training, public speaking, interviewing skills, etc. And now our young ladies are going overseas to represent the Cayman Islands in Orlando. And so this is one of our biggest fundraisers. This is the raffle tickets for $5. We had great support from the community. Honestly, I love the Cayman Islands. The people are just so awesome, so giving and so willing to help, honestly.
And big shout out to Ale Thompson's and Foster's
Absolutely.
that allowed us to sell the tickets outside,
Absolutely.
and cost you less outside
and
of
they do that every year. They could easily say no, and they're just always so supportive and yes, come on out, and they just give us that space to allow us to sell these raffle tickets, as well as the bake sales. As I mentioned earlier, for those who might have not been listening, we also do a charity each year, and we do fundraisers for that charity. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the first raffle prize drawing. The first 5 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, the first 5 are going to be Bath and Body Works candles, and we have over 31 prizes. I am not going to put my hand in there because I don't want anyone saying anything, so I'm going to shake it on up, and you're going to do that. Okay, the first 5.
Well, I was exercising my fingers, and see, I got the cuts to show it.
You said there was a camera, right? They could see me. Okay.
All right, I'll do it for you, man. I'll do it. And I said also, you were trying very hard to ensure that it is.
Shake that up. And
I'm going to go as far to the bottom, to the side, to do everything. But it feels quite interesting. So take out one and then another?
Yes.
All right. I'm not even look at it, right?
All right. So the first winner for Bath and Body Works candle is Mr. Carmel. Mr. Carmel, congratulations and thank you so much for your support. And then you can give me the next 4. Yep. Thank you. Then we have a Mr. Dwight. Mr. Dwight, number 1161. Not going to call out the numbers each time because we have your name, but this is a Mr. Dwight. Thank you so much.
All right.
And then we have, an Annalie Martinez Castro. Congratulations. And then we have an Elizabeth, a Miss Elizabeth. And then we have a Mr. Sean.
Right.
So, Mr. Sean, thank you so much to those first prize winners for the Bath and Body Works candles. And then we are going to move on to the next prizes. You can go ahead and start over there. I think my next one is, thank you. Right. $25 Camana Bay gift card. $25 Camana Bay gift card. And we have a Mrs. Jenny Whita.
Hey.
Miss Jenny Whitehall, we have your number and we will be calling you. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay. Draw another one.
Another one, please. So this one is a gift certificate to Coffee Point, and this goes to Mr. Sheen. Gift certificate to Coffee Point, Mr. Sheen. This is a $25 gift certificate to Cafe del Sol. This is a Mr. Andre. Thank you so much, Mr. Andre, for your support. No, that rubber band doesn't count.
Nope.
Right. Come on, Mrs. Sterling.
No, I saw it. I moved it so it doesn't get caught up.
Thank you so much. So funny. What's next? Okay, so now we have a $25 gift certificate to Blackbeards. And this is a Mr. Patrick Bearsing. Mr. Patrick Bearsing.
He's at the police department.
Oh, he's in the police department. Okay, thank you.
He's going to send that to Radio Cayman.
So that's one of Miss Lisa's, so she's excited. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. This one is a gift certificate to Kirk Market, and this is a Miss Tiffany Ebanks. Thank you so much, Miss Tiffany.
Everybody needs a thing for
Then
the
we
supermarket.
have the next one. Is this the gas ones? Let me just see. Oh, I apologize. Okay, so this is the $25 La Femme Beauty Salon. This winner is Miss Vinette Chambers. Miss Vinette Chambers, thank you so much. And this is another $25 gift certificate to La Femme Beauty Salon, Miss Nikisha Scott. Miss Nikisha Scott, thank you so much. Even if you're not listening, well, obviously you wouldn't know, but we'll give you a call, so no need to tune in, etc. This is...
You need to be present to win, right?
Sorry?
You don't need to be present to win.
No, you don't have to be present to win.
4 gas stations.
Okay, so these are the 4 gas station $25 gift certificates to Ruby's. So the next 4 persons, this is your win. This is Miss Briella and Braley Callie Verman, I think. And then we have Mr. Harley Kim Salong. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these names. Clearly,
like I said, I want to give you the tickets. You read.
This is Samuel Ogaro and Priscilla Jensen. Thank you guys so much.
So that's the 4 for
All
that.
right.
All right.
So now we're going on to the higher prizes.
Okay.
Sweetie, yeah. Okay, we have a watch from Shea's Outlet. A watch from Shea's Outlet. Thank you so much for your support. And this is a Kenzie J. Then we have a perfume from Miss Shaya's Outlet. A perfume goes to Mr. Kevin McLean. Thank you so much, sir, for your support.
That's her uncle.
Oh, there we go. We know the people. That's awesome. Okay, what's the next one? Okay, so now we're going on to...
bath first.
So this is a bath set bundle, $50 worth, to Mackie Henry. Mackie Henry, thank you so much.
And then cost you less time.
Okay, so now we're moving on to $50 gift certs to Cost You Less. We have 2 of these, and this winner is Miss Carla Morales. Thank you, Miss Morales. Carla Morales. There's the other one. Thank you. Now we have Kiana Jones. Kiana Jones, $50 Cost You Less gift certificate. Thank you so much. You shaking that, sir? Shake it good. It's a lot in there,
probably
right?
did get at the hazard pay.
No, people did so awesome with these sales, honestly.
The next one is Captain Marvin.
Okay, so this one is, I love Captain Marvin's. This is a Captain Marvin's 3-hour tour gift certificate for Cadelia Kelly. Hey, can we switch this? So Cadelia Kelly, congratulations. This is your Captain Marvin's gift certificate 3-hour tour.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
she wanted to someone gave her $5. She's like, Mommy, can I put it in the ticket, please? I was like, okay.
All right, and so we're moving on to
$50 Kamana Bay.
Sorry, thank you. $50 Kamana Bay, and this is for a Mr. Mac Connolly. Mr. Matt Connolly, thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Mr. Sterling. You're doing so great. It's like you're Vanna White.
Come on.
Hey, listen.
This is for, what was the price? Casanova gift certificate, $50. Mr. I. Dennis. Thank you so much, Casanova, and thank you, Mr. I. Dennis. All right, and then we have Miss Teresa Cole. Oh, I know her.
I know her. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations, Miss Teresa Cole. You are the winner of, what is it?
$50 for Casanova.
$50 for Ragazzi. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Then we have Cherie Riley. Congratulations for a $50 gift certificate to Ragazzi. Thank you so much.
And then you have a $75 wallet and handbag.
Okay, $75 wallet and handbag from Shea's, is it? Yes, I think. From Miss Shea's Outlet, and it's a Miss Valda Hilton Taylor. Miss Valda Hilton Taylor, thank you so much. Congrats. And then we're moving on to
$100 Conling Concierge and Consulting Service.
$100 certificate for Connolly Concierge Services.
You want some help?
This is for Miss Rosita Brown. Miss Rosita Brown, congratulations. And now we're moving on to $150. Whoa, what's going on over there?
She's shaking it.
We're shaking the bag vigorously to make sure everyone gets a chance. So this is a $150 value essentials oil and diffuser from, is it Good Living, is it?
Young Living.
Young Living, sorry. And this is a Mr. Carl Brown. Mr. Carl Brown, congratulations. I hope you get to enjoy all of these beautiful essential oils. And
or give it to someone.
Or give it to someone.
Regifting.
Yes. So here we go. Drum roll. Can I have, this is down to the last two. This is a gift certificate for a $395 value for a take-home whitening kit. And it is for a Mr. Liberty Wright. Mr. Liberty Wright, congratulations on your $395 value whitening home kit. I would say that's pretty good for a $5 raffle ticket.
That's for teeth, right?
That's for your teeth. I am so sorry.
Not the Michael Jackson version?
Stop it.
No, not the Michael Jackson.
Oh, my goodness. It's a teeth whitening home kit. All right, here we go. Last but surely not least, a $200 gift certificate.
Grand prize.
Grand prize goes to Annalie Martinez. I know her.
I try my best to put my hand in, look at all.
I know it. Hey, they can check the camera. What's the website that they can go to make sure this is legit?
I'm actually going to go to Miss Norman now and see if I can get a... What I think for your hands when you go to get
a
your
manicure?
Hands. Yeah, because I think I need it now, see?
All right. So congratulations so much to everyone. Those who assisted in... the sponsorship of these gift certificates. Thank you so much to all the ladies for their hard works. And a big thank you to the community. Honestly, the Cayman Islands is unlike any other place around the world. You guys are awesome, always very supportive. And we always teach the girls that even if someone tells us no, you still say thank you. And we've actually had people turn around and said, oh my gosh, you were so polite. And just because of that thank you, I'm going to take 2 tickets. So we've even had that in the community. So thank you so much.
I know as we close up, we talk about soft skills, and I understand the context. Personally, I think those are not soft skills. Those are essential. The pleases and the thank yous, the sense of appreciation, and what you're teaching, the camaraderie, but teamwork, but equally that sense of self and confidence, pride, respect. It means a lot. I wish and pray that you guys have a wonderful trip, a very safe trip, but an enjoyable trip. Lasting memories, and to the girls, pageant moms.
Well, I'm gonna say something. Caught me 7 years ago, I would have never done on the radio. But being in this pageant, which I have competed myself into in 2016, being the first mother-daughter team. And I also won Mrs. International Girl internationally and locally. I've never thought that I would be able to being, as outspoken. Get me wrong, I have my days, but to be outspoken and being on radio and being on camera and all that type of stuff. So from experience, me personally, I see what the program has done to boost my morals, and that's what I want for my daughters. Absolutely. That's why I continue to keep them in there, because I want them to understand the world today isn't like the world in my days. And in order for you to, I know that I probably can't do it by myself, but having help is what helps. Because they always say it's not what you do to bring up it's the village that, know. And that's what we have as a International Girl Project. We have a family, not just, individual pageant moms or pageant queens or whatever. We have a family there, and everybody's one look out for each other.
I think people need to look at it so I have my son who's in sports, and I've done my sports myself, and even within my own professions and stuff, it really is coming together. And like she said, Cayman is a place where you do have that Cayman kind, and we've experienced that Cayman kind, and none of our girls would be where they are today without the support of
Absolutely.
Ivana and the other people and the supporters and everyone. Like, we just wouldn't be there, without it. So we're very, very grateful to everyone and we say, the same way you look at sports, they should look and value this, because not everyone's going to be great at sports, not everyone's going to be great at academics, but this is an area where they can shine, and we're just going to encourage our young people where they can shine and help them to just be the best that they can be.
Absolutely. And I've gotten many reports from teachers and principals at school that say that they see the difference of what this program has done, because like I've mentioned, it's not just about going on stage and trying to look pretty. It's about the skills that, those soft skills, the being able to speak properly, interviewing skills. And they've taken these skills now to school for presentations, and for being able to speak in front of class,
Even just to speak to an adult, like my daughter, the difference with standing up beside someone and looking them in the eye and not looking at the ground, because they have to practice interview skills. They learn the value of eye contact and what that means. And let me tell you, I can see some youth that miss that altogether.
Even adults.
Even adults. And this is why we keep saying, like, this is more than just a pageant.
It is. Well, we've done this with for a number of years consecutively.
Yes.
And I appreciate you endeavor to, as best as you can, make it as as open, accountable, as transparent. I hope that I did you a good service by trying to mix it up.
You're awesome.
We owe you a manicure, we know.
It would be my first. I had my first, massage not long ago. And you see, as you interact and associate with people, they bring their skill sets, they bring their experience, they help to nurture you. And I think we've seen more and more of our people, as they get that environment that is loving, safe, nurturing, that they grow. And it doesn't matter how good you are, you can always be better.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? And I commend you for continually, coming together, working as a community.
Thank you.
If we can be of a partner in any way, let us know. So
always, Radio Cayman always assists. That's another one of our big sponsors or thank yous, in the sense that they always do the radio recordings for the girls when they're about to give up on the night of the pageant. They do the speeches for them.
Shout out to Joel.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Joel, for always helping us with that.
He's amazing. Huh?
He is, honestly.
He says, we look so much alike, that's why we're on radio. Ladies, thank you very much. And to you and all of the parents and all the community partners, many hands indeed make life work. So have a safe trip.
I would like to do a shout out to a couple of my sponsors, especially Kurt Freeport. They were a tremendous help to my girls. We have Kurt Freeport, we have Danny's Auto, we have Paint Pros, we have Rubis gas station on Eastern Avenue, because it's a difference. Plus, we also have Rubis Cayman. So, Casanova, who did the gift certificates for us. We also have not Puritan Cleaners, Island Cleaners. There's so much there.
But this is
just to name a few. We wanted to say thank you for everybody that helped us to get where we are right now, and to allow us to travel to the United States to represent the Cayman Islands. And we're going to try our best to make sure that we bring home one of those crowns, or maybe 2 or 3.
Which we have done before.
We have done before. The first year we went, we came back with 5. 4.
No, 3. That's a lie. 3.
Yeah.
And then the next year we did
crowns.
4.
And we did 4.
And the next year we did 1. And then the next year we went back to 3. Yeah. And then COVID hit. And so we're going back this year ready.
Yeah, we're
and
ready.
Hungry.
There we go.
I'm still on the fence if I'm ready, but we're going to go.
Well, my prayer is that you have fun, but you enjoy, but come back safely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Also, just to let you guys know, there is a voting for our girls. If anybody else want to support the girls, there's on the International Girl Facebook page where you can go on and vote for all of the Caymanian girls if you want. It's $1 per vote. So if Cayman wants to show their Cayman kind again, they can do so. All 19 girls are posted there, so they can go ahead and do the voting for People's Choice Award.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And we invite you to continue to be a part of all the wonderful programming here at Radio Cayman, and come back for talk today right after the midday news and midday meditation. Got an interesting discussion schedule as normal, little teaser. She's an amazing intellect, gifted professional over at HSA, Miss Faith Geely. And we're going to be talking about something that, well, you know what? Girls tomorrow. We're going to have something before, but stay tuned for that. Until then, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village.